Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Bunch of Nuts podcast. This is Dan here with Cass. Blake he's coming in. We have Blake joining the show live to tape. Blake's loading in. Blake was at the game today. Outstanding win by the Buckeyes. Get that massive win over number 8 Purdue. We have the man, the myth, the legend in the flesh. He was at the game. Blake Biscardi, everybody. Can you hear us, Blake?
I can. How you guys doing?
We're
We're good, man.
fantastic. Um, just what a win. What a gritty win. Great defense. I just want to say one thing before I pass it to Blake. Um, Ivan Nagovin has he's flourished. He's become a beautiful flower. Like he was a caterpillar, now he's a butterfly because he played so great today. Purdue center, I don't think even had a point, and he fouled out. So I just got to shout out Ivan Nagovin. But Blake, you
It,
were how about that?
Ivan's becoming one of those roadside exit, beautiful purple wildflowers the last few
Yeah.
games.
He's been great, and we had a great atmosphere in the shot today. Ohio State played really well from start to finish. Purdue had some open looks early, so that was something you wanted to get cleaned up. But I thought defensively, Ohio State played great. But you look across the court there, offensively, four guys in double figures. I mean, you're never going to complain of that. Two guys over 20. So I mean, you saw John Mobley and Bruce Thorn. You know that they're going to get theirs. You have a true reliable second scoring option now. It's not just all shouldered on Bruce Thornton. That way, Ohio State's finally healthy. Jake Diebler talked a lot about that in the post-game press conference, how much actually went into guys getting on the court for this game and how important the trainers and the doctors all were and the long hours that were put in, the late nights in the gym, everything just to get on the court for this game. And you could see it all come out to fruition once really tip happened. Ohio State got the ball and they never really looked back about halfway through the first half.
Yeah, Blake, obviously you were there and we were watching on TV, and it just seemed like Ohio State was obviously the most physical team throughout the whole game, kept putting Purdue into bad situations, and then just whenever Purdue would make a run, Ohio State would come out and answer it. And I think the play of the game had to go to Chapman, to the open look to Bynum, because Chatnam could have just went for a layup, but finding Bynum in the corner, that right there. I texted a buddy of mine. I said that sealed the game right there, with that play right there. Just a heads up play. It's just knowing that Tilly and who was it that Coach Diebler said? Tilly and one other person were like Bynum. They were both questionable, working hard till about 10 o'clock last night to try to get to play today. Just shows you the character of this team, and it has to lean on Bruce Thornton because the way he's played the last few games.
Yeah, he's 30 points away from being the all-time leading scorer at Ohio State. So you tip your cap to him for his entire career, but the exclamation point to his career would be an NCAA tournament berth, and you knew you had to get a win today if that was going to be in the cards. And Ohio State did just that. They were amped up and ready to go pregame, standing there with him in the tunnel. You could see it. Devin Royal was firing everyone up. Him and John Mobley had just a quick little play fight there, and then, I mean, they were ready to go from the get-go today, and you saw that out on the floor. And defensively, I was really, really impressed, especially with Devin Royal and
Yeah.
Cash. You're talking about that possession late in the game there where Amari Bynum hit that, game clinching three,
How
just to
about
really put out of reach. But
how about Amari Bynum's block too? We're talking about defense.
yeah,
Like he absolutely swatted that guy on Purdue, and that like kind of set the tone. I feel like.
he did. And Tilly was really great underneath the basket too, grabbing boards. I mean, both of the big guys played really well today from that standpoint. And Jake Diebler's talked about that. You need the physicality in your game, especially in the Big Ten. And you saw that today from Bynum and from Tilly, especially that possession from Tilly grabbing two offensive rebounds and then ending it in a Bruce Thornton three. That was probably the best possession Ohio State's had offensively all year.
I do like it when Ivan or Tilly are at center because I feel like against Purdue they kind of figure out they tip it back to the guards. They were getting like second chances. It felt like I think they figured that out. Today felt like they finally played complimentary basketball. Cass texted me that, but I feel like I mean that's what it was. It wasn't one performance, but they were making the small plays too correct, making free throws for the most part. The Mobley hit five threes 5 for 11. That's great. I mean, I love that we're letting our shooters shoot. It felt like this is the team that we've been waiting for.
Yeah, and Diebler talked about that this team was positioned to play its best basketball late in the season, and they're here. It's late in the season, and they played their best basketball today because they're healthy, they're in sync. Diebler said that this is a really close team. They have great
Yeah.
chemistry, they have great accountability to each other, and they work really, really hard, and they play well together. And he's like, we've seen these signs since June, and now it's taken until March for it to really all come together. But if there's ever a time for it to come together in college basketball, it is March. And this is how Ohio State sets the tone for the month of madness.
And I think we got lucky too with Indiana looking as bad as they did today against Michigan State. So that just kind of sums up. Okay, next Sunday is going to be the battle. Hopefully, if Ohio State takes the business, carries the business. So right now, according to as of this morning, Joe Lunardi had Ohio State the first four out, Indiana the first four in. I do think that if Ohio State, it's going to probably change this tomorrow because with our win over Purdue, we come out, we beat Penn State, we beat Indiana, and we get a one, maybe two victories in the Big Ten tournament. I don't see us being that first four in. I see us being a team that's going to be in the field of 64.
Yeah, I mean, if Ohio State wins, then if Ohio State loses to Penn State, everything that just happened today was for nothing. I just want to say that. But if they win the next two, they're definitely not first four in. I think they would be clearly in if they finish with 20 wins with that ranked win over Purdue. I just as long as Wisconsin and Northwestern keep playing well too, maybe we get an extra quad one win in there. Um, I think Ohio State has a really good chance. I mean, worst case, everyone's saying Dayton, which I'm all for. My theory is we got to exercise our. No, don't shake your head. Don't shake your head. We got to exercise our demons in Dayton. All the problems with this program start when we lost to Dayton. We have to go to Dayton. My theory is and win a game against Dayton, and then Ohio State will go on a run. That's my prediction here.
I just think as a programs thing, seeing us being a first four in, I really don't like it.
Why not? What they got to play. They got to get experience.
I think what I've seen and what I heard on CBS today, it sounds like Ohio State would probably be a 10 seed with that win over Purdue, which I'm all for because Ohio State's very capable. As today, they beat a 2 seed today. If you really look at the NCAA rankings, the number 8 team in the country, technically a 2 seed. If you really look at it, so they are capable of beating 2 seeds if they can get past that 7 seed as well.
Situation right now. What is USC ranked? Well,
USC actually USC
like what's their projected seed?
USC just lost their best one of their double-digit scorers for the rest of the year. He's just no longer on the team. I saw that on Twitter.
I think last time I looked, like they were like an 8th or 9th seed. So like if they could I feel like they have a better argument than USC because then we beat them head to head. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think a 21 Ohio State's in the tournament, and that's going to be if they win the next 2 games. And then the Big Ten tournament, can just be additional right there, but it always helps if you can win a game or even 2 games while you're in Chicago. But I think Ohio State with 20 wins should be in the tournament, and I think they should be in the tournament, not so much going to Dayton. Now, it depends on who you're going to ask, but this is a signature quality quad 1 win.
They're 2-10 with quad wins this year right now because Wisconsin's a quad win.
Yeah. 2-10. But Northwestern might flip though, because that's how they continue.
All right, so Blake, you're around the team, obviously around the team a lot more than we are. What do you think their vibe? Short turnaround, they got to go to Happy Valley, where Penn State earlier in the year beat Michigan over there. Obviously, we all know that's a tough place to play, no matter if it's football or basketball. What do you think the vibe around this team is? Is it March? Is it like last year's national championship football team where it's March or like March Madness or bust, like for this team? And they got to have that mindset. Basically, our playoffs are starting now. The tournament is starting now for them.
It was essentially a March Madness game today, and Diebler has really said it best. I mean, I asked him today what one word he'd use to describe the team, and he used the word close. And you could see that anytime that you're around the guys, and they've just been missing each other. That's really been the biggest thing for them is they've been missing each other on the floor because someone's not healthy, whether it's Mobley or Bynum or Royal or whoever it is, not to mention some of the other guys who have been out this year. And if I'm looking at this team today and what I thought going into it, it was a must-win game. And so this was a tournament game for Ohio State today. And I think that's the mentality for Ohio State moving forward is every game is a tournament game that you can't lose. But also, if you look at this team, Iowa being the anomaly game, they've responded really well all year. They've not lost back-to-back games all season up until losing to Iowa last week. And this is a veteran group. This is guys that have played together for a long time. Bruce Thornton is a surefire of a player as you can have. And then you have John Mobley back, and he's catching fire from three. And you see these teams that Ohio State's going to have to play, like Penn State or Indiana. You're like, you know what? Take care of business. That's what you need to do. You don't need to do anything flashy. You just need to take care of business. And I think they're focused enough because you saw how much today meant. It can't stop today. You can't just say, hey, we did enough to go beat Purdue. We've gotten our signature win. And then we go ahead and lose to Penn State, or we go ahead and lose to Indiana. So as Ohio State, it's a tournament game the rest of the way. But I do think that they are locked in enough to go ahead and make that run where it's not going to be, hey, they come out completely flat for an entire game against Penn State. It might be shaky at first coming on the road, just coming down from that high, but there's enough maturity in the program and on the team for them to be able to handle these next couple of games.
Last time I looked at standings, we were ninth in the Big Ten. Obviously that was before the Indiana game. Do you think they have an outside shot of getting a bye game in the tournament, which I think would be much needed because they got short turnaround against Penn State and then a short turnaround against Indiana. If they can somehow get some help with some teams in the Big Ten and win these next two games and get that eighth seed where they would have a bye week, I think for health-wise, I think would be great for the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I don't know the exact math on it, but I do think if Ohio State could get a bye, it would be preferred just to have a little bit of rest because of how banged up that they've been, how many games that they've played. And this is the Big Ten. It's the toughest conference in basketball. And, it's almost likened to the football SEC, where you're sitting there saying every single week is a grind. You hear the coaches say it all the time. Well, they're really right when they say the Big Ten is a grind every single week. Bruce Thornton and Mobley talked about it today, where anybody can beat anybody on any given day in this conference. Matt Painter had a ton of respect for Ohio State and how they played. He said his team didn't play physical enough. They were fouling too much. And Ohio State just played a really smart game of basketball today, and they executed. And if they continue to do that, that's how you make a run. And then Bruce Pearl in the post game on CBS said, hey, Ohio State deserves to be in the tournament. This win gets them in, and they're going to be a really tough out. He's like, do you want to defend Bruce Thornton? Do you want to defend John Mobley? No, teams really don't. And so if you're seeing Ohio State on your bracket in the 10 or 11 seed line, watch out. That's not just hey, we're going to beat a team that's seeded 4, 5, or 6 slots lower than us. That's a really tough game for whoever that it is. And that's not to say Ohio State's guaranteed to go play into the Final Four, but Ohio State is not going to go out quietly in the tournament.
What I love about this team is the DNA of this team speaks to me like it should be a good tournament team if they make the tournament. They just haven't hit their stride.
They have to get there.
Yeah. And I think you're kind of seeing Diebler formulate his team, and it's beginning to come together at the right time. Because what do they have? Ohio State has a dominant guard in Bruce Thornton. They have pretty good perimeter shooting. They have Mobley. Really, their biggest thing was just big man. I feel like in rebounding, but that Diebler's put such an emphasis on playing tough and all that. That's beginning to become the final ingredient. And then they obviously shoot the free throws really well. And then Diebler too. I noticed this today. He only went with 8 guys total throughout the game. He only played 8 guys, so you can see the bench getting a little smaller, a little shorter as guys get healthier and stuff. But the bench actually did well today because they got 8 points and 7 rebounds and 2 assists, which, believe it or not, in other games, that's all we needed to win. Bruce would have to be a Superman. And this game, Bruce just had to be pretty good. He didn't have to be Superman. He just had to be pretty good, which he's going to be that 9 times out of 10. But I thought, the rest of the team really stepped up around Bruce. And if Bruce, gets into the tournament, look out.
So looking ahead here,
yep.
I think Ohio State has a great shot at getting a bye. UCLA has USC has Nebraska and a home against Nebraska at USC. And then Iowa has Michigan and Nebraska. So
Oh,
if Ohio State wins out, Iowa and UCLA, if UCLA loses one, Iowa loses out. Ohio State will get the 8th seed, but Ohio State would be tied with UCLA, which would be the tiebreaker because the 5 and 6 seed are locks. They're Purdue and Wisconsin. You could see Ohio State win if they win out and get some help with UCLA and Iowa losing the next couple games. If UCLA just splits and Iowa loses both, Ohio State has that tiebreaker over UCLA that could get them the 7 seed, which would avoid Michigan and get a third round matchup against Nebraska, depending on if they win that first.
That would be. I mean, that's a matchup I wish we get to see again. I feel like that's an interesting team, Nebraska. They're really big and all that. Blake, before we let you go, what's the vibe around the team right now? Obviously, today was such a high. They stormed the courts and everything. You were there. Like, what's the overall vibe you think going into this week? If you could just,
I think the vibe is that they're confident. You saw that today. I mean, this is a really, really good Purdue team, the number 8 team in the country. I get that they've lost 2 of their last 3, now 3 of the last 4 after today, but Purdue is extremely talented. They're extremely well coached, and they're a team coming into your building and your back's against the wall. How are you going to respond? They could have laid over because that game against Iowa, they started so hot in that game against Iowa, and then they were just completely flat. I mean, it was just an embarrassing final 30 minutes for Ohio State against Iowa. And
no
they
effort,
rebounded and
no
responded.
defense. Yeah,
Right.
it was bad.
Exactly. And they rebounded and they responded so well today. And they played confident. They believe in each other. Their starting 5 were out on the field or on the court. They were all healthy and they believe in each other and they believe that they can go on a run. There's internal belief. And when you look at signs of teams that can go on a run in March that are, maybe they've been banged up or maybe they're just underseeded or maybe they're undervalued in terms of what their ceiling can be. Ohio State has those ingredients. They have the veteran playmakers. They have 2 elite scorers, not to mention great role players. If Bynum or Royal decide that they would like to get hot too, they can also dominate a game. And then Tilly, he needs to continue growing within himself. I wouldn't say that he's a stud by any sense yet, but he has all the tools and the traits that they need. So I think the vibe for Ohio State is exactly they're confident and they're a team that believes in themselves internally and they're going hard in practice every single day. And it means as much to them as to anybody else in the country. And so you're not going to beat Ohio State the way that they lost. Bruce Thornton actually said they didn't even watch the film against Iowa because that wasn't them. They said it wasn't us. They're like, we know that wasn't us. We know what we did. We took accountability. We took ownership, and we're going to move on. And we came out here today, and we played like us. This was us today.
That's how you take ownership. That's how you get yourselves into the tournament. Great win by the Buckeyes.
And for Big Ten's sake and matchups, please I'm asking the basketball gods to bless the Buckeyes this week with Iowa to go 0-2, UCLA to go 1-1, and Ohio State to go 2-0 this week. That's all I'm asking for. And I've been the most negative. I've been the most negative person on this program within the Silver Bulletin all year. I've got to have some faith because, like Grant said in Slack earlier, positive cast is back.
Okay, I'll hold you to it Wednesday. Second half against Penn State. We'll see where we're at.
Right.
I believe in this team.
I do too. No, I do too. I really do.
I think a lot of it's for Bruce. He's going to go out as the all-time leading scorer in Ohio State, which selfishly I hope happens next Saturday instead of against Penn State, because I'll be there and Blake will be there. So I know 2,000 fans are going to be blessed to get a bobblehead that I won't be able to get my hands on unless I go on eBay and pay for it. So
I might get tickets to the game. I was on the fence.
Hey, if you do get there early, and I'll steal Breeze.
Oh, honestly, that's fine. Yeah, or you can just have mine. We'll keep Breeze for Bree. I'll just give you mine. I don't care about the bobblehead. Blake, thank you so much for hopping on real quick. I know you're a busy man. Everyone, check out his work at Silver Bulletin. It's some great stuff.
Guys, I appreciate you for having me, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks, brother. All right. Once again, thank you, Blake, for coming on short notice. He's the
Hey,
GOAT.
let's shout out Hoggies real quick before we go
Hoggies.
into segue right into the NFL Combine. If the Buckeyes make a tournament, it sounds like we're going to have another live show at Hoggies. So keep it right there. Great food, great atmosphere. We'd love to get back there to do another live show.
And also our friends at forevergameday.com. Great shirts, great gear. Check them out, forevergameday.com.
NFL Combine, man. Not only did the hardwood heat up today, man, the Styles brothers are going into the NFL draft in style.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Lorenzo, we'll start with Lorenzo, man.
Wait, that's the stunner. That's the one that I was like, whoa.
Yeah, 4.28 for the longest time up until today. I believe it was yesterday. I mean, he had the fastest 40 time, 4.28 a time. But keep in mind, Caleb Downs didn't run or work out either. So, but Lorenzo Styles, I think, like I said, we were talking about this earlier, that we didn't think he'd be one of those guys get drafted. I think he just found himself as a day 3 draft pick.
I'd say 4th to 5th rounder easily.
Yeah, he's going to be a guy that's going to be drafted for special teams. And like I said, for special teams, the dude is lightning quick. And on punt coverage and kickoff coverage, he does it. He's not afraid to hit you either.
So I agree. I think 4th to 5th round comp. Obviously, he has the return ability. He also can play a little receiver for your team, but obviously, I think he fits in the NFL. Obviously, like that nickel that he's been playing, which he did play really well at times. So I think a 4th, 5th round grade. But yeah, special teams is definitely like as a gunner or something too. I could see, or kick returner. I totally see a fit for him there.
Carnell Tate, real quick. Brandon Beam had a hilarious comment. I know a lot of Buckeye fans saying we're misinterpreting that. It's because he's hoping that he falls late in the first round of the Bills, but I think the Bills are going to have to make a trade to get up that far. I still think Carnell Tate's going to be a top 10 fit pick. Kind of shocked that he only ran a 4.53 40. Because I think he's faster than that. I think we were both talking about that off air, that we think he's faster than what he ran.
Well, okay. I have the Adam Schefter tweet. He said, Ohio State wide receiver Carnell Tate, a potential top 10 pick, was timed by several NFL executives and GMs on Saturday with a 40 time in the range of 4.45 to 4.47 seconds. Although the combine registers official times, teams always conduct their own timing in those measurements, which some teams were lower than his clocked 4.52. So maybe there's something going on with the laser. I don't know. I do like how teams are keeping this on their own. I will say, though, Carnell Tate, he was, remember, though, he did miss some time in November. Maybe he's not at 100%. Maybe he's only at like 90.
I'd like to see what he runs at his pro day.
I would like that too, but also I'm a free thinker. Cass. I'm not going to overthink this. I think Carnell Tate smokes Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese in a race 9 times out of 10. I think he's faster. I like because those guys technically ran faster than Carnell Tate. But I just think Carnell Tate's faster. I don't care what the time says.
Yeah, I think Sonny Styles benefited from it all. I mean, we all knew Arvell Reese was a freak of nature, and we all knew Sonny was. But I think Sonny's performance at the combine, the 11.2 broad jump, the 4.47 40-yard dash, and the 43.5 vertical inch leap. That dude is now becoming a top 10 pick. And obviously, as a Bengals fan, if I can't get Caleb Downs at 10, I'd love to see Sonny drop to us. But unfortunately, I think both of them are going to not drop to us.
Sonny on the Bengals would be a phenomenal fit because
he fits our system.
And you guys need a dominant linebacker. Your linebackers are always like these gritty guys who are like kind of mid, but like
I
serviceable.
I think if you line him up next to Demetrius Knight, who had a great rookie season last year, who had 100 tackles as a rookie, Demetrius Knight, and you had him with Sonny Styles, it's going to be a heck of a linebacker crew. Especially, it sounds like we're going to franchise tag Trey Hendrickson.
Uh-huh.
So I think I think him and Demetrius Knight would be good. I'm not saying Demetrius Knight's the greatest linebacker in the
No,
world,
no.
but like he would comp Demetrius Knight really well. Um, Arvell Reese is just a freak of nature. I the combine's the combine, and it's like what a lot of people say. It's the underwear Olympics. Everybody's going to show up. I think what benefits Ohio State players is what they do at their pro day, because technically, Caden McDonald's measurements weren't very good, and
That's funny, but like Caden McDonald, like people don't realize is he's a defensive tackle, and
yeah,
I feel like
absolutely,
defensive tackles they never impress. Like a guy like his playing style, he's just a clogger. He needs to be big and stuff. He's not going to win that competition, but that doesn't change the football player he is, and that's what people forget. It's about
yeah,
football. The tape doesn't lie. It's more just validating the combine's more just figuring out physical traits and being like, was there like a schematic issue with a guy that he didn't get as much production like where he was, and then you could kind of. But I digress. I thought the Buckeyes really did show out though. Igman
yeah.
Olsen ran a good 40. It was 4.46, I believe. I think it was like 0.1 seconds faster than Sonny and Arvell. Um, and CJ Donaldson was there. I didn't see anything highlights of CJ Donaldson, just other than not him complimenting Michigan. So
Yeah, that's the best. He should become a draft pick just because of that.
I'm trying to pull up what he did. Hold on. I should stats or CJ Donaldson combine. Also, the quarterbacks ran, and only like four quarterbacks ran or something, and it was hold on.
By the way, Julian Sand was at the. I have it right here. They asked him, and he just went silence.
I
He didn't
love
say a
it.
word.
So
Yeah, C.J. Donaldson didn't say anything.
the I'm trying to find his combine stats. He was at the combine. I can't find anything. Uh-oh. Someone tweeted stocks after the combine and his stocks down, so that's not good. He did not run a 40, but is doing a positional workout. Okay, that's what CJ Donaldson did. Interesting. I feel like you should run a 40 if you're a running back. Always.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Columbus Aviator football's coming up, man.
I'm getting tickets. I'll be going to the May games. April, I got too much stuff going on, but we're doing spring game though anyway. Like
Yeah,
I think there's an Aviators game from my understanding, which we're very excited.
the day before.
The day before the spring game. I think it's a Friday and
Yeah,
then the spring
I
game.
have Fox Media credentials for 3 of the 4 home games.
Hmm.
So
I don't
I'm
know.
excited. Pro football, pro football in springtime is dude. I'm telling you, getting ready to be that good time of the year. I just changed my ringtone to the CBS uh, March Madness theme song. Baseball's right around the corner. The World Baseball Classic starts this week,
Mm.
so I'm excited to see that. So I'm trying to find out. I'm going to keep close eye on when the Reds play the Pirates, so I can go see Paul Skeens tear up my Reds.
Ooh.
Paul Skeens is one of my favorite players in the league right now. So
If you go to that one, there's like at least like a 13% chance there's gonna be like a benches clearing brawl when the
I was
Pirate
there.
Reds play.
I was there when Yasiel Puig was traded in the middle of the game, and he was still playing and decided to take on him and Will Benson's decided to take on the whole Pirates team. I was
Oh,
at that game.
yeah, the iconic photo of him like getting his jersey pulled, like was that
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He got traded to the Guardians or
Man,
the Indians. So
Yasiel Puig was like, I don't understand what happened to him because he was good, and then just like one year he got traded, and then
well, I
just
know he's in jail now. So
because he got traded and no one signed him, and then I don't know. I don't get that, but I'm excited for baseball, excited for Clippers.
hey, Masters coming up.
We got Masters, we got NHL, MLS, but most importantly, Columbus Aviator football. I'm very excited for this, and we gotta get back on track here. I like their schedule's cool. I like
It's
Ted Ginn.
weird that they played the teams back to back.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like home and homes, right?
Yeah,
That's so odd.
yeah. Their first game is April 3rd, and then obviously I'll be on vacation that week, so that's the only game I won't be able to cover. But the rest of them I'll get to cover. Few, most of them are Friday night games, which I like. And then Columbus Aviator football head coach Ted Ginn, man, I can't wait to see G Scott out there playing again too.
I'm pretty sure he got cut.
Did he?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he got cut, dude. It was
I
quick. He
haven't.
got signed, and all I'm pulling up the roster. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like he got cut. There's no like I'm looking at the team. I'm trying to like get excited about like someone who like there's Aiden Sayin. Um, I think Jalen Walker is their big linebacker. Like usually there's someone you like would know.
Matthew Jones.
Oh yeah, Matthew Kenny Willekes. Did he win Big Ten Lineman of the Year? Yeah, he did.
Something like that.
Kenny Willekes on the defensive line. Rashard Davis, is that who I think it is? Super Bowl champion
Oh
Rashard
yeah, three
Davis.
weeks ago. So they drafted G Scott, and then 3 weeks ago they released Raheem Blackshear and tight end G Scott Jr.
I don't understand it because I like those
Their
are.
offensive coordinator is Todd Haley.
So we're gonna see what happens. I'm excited. Like I'm gonna get tickets. I'm definitely going to all the May ones. Maybe I'll try to go to the one the Friday night before spring game. Depend, but we're probably gonna be doing something in the morning. So I don't know. Maybe I will. I don't know. But that's all I got, Cass. You got anything else before we hop off here?
Nope. Blake and I are going to do regional semifinals Wednesday night between Dublin Kaufman and Pickerington Central. So listen to that on the Fairfield County Sports Network, the Red Stream. So should be a good one.
Check that out. And also Ohio State obviously plays Wednesday against Penn State. Support them. And then they got to play Indiana. We'll probably see you there. But go Bucks. Everyone have a great week. Go Bucks.
Good lucks.